Hi, welcome back. Halftime. Welcome back to the Big Saturday Show with my team, Joey, Aisha, Katie by the door, and Leo. Welcome back. Former President Trump took to the main stage at the Faith and Freedom Coalition Friday to issue a warning about the greatest danger to our country while predicting victories for conservatives this November.
The greatest danger to America is the destruction of our nation from the people from within. And you know the people I'm talking about. That is why this November we're going to stand up to this left-wing fascism, and we're going to take back our freedom. We're going to take back our country in November.
I'm going to take Katie by the door, my buddy here. Katie, you know, the Trump scorecard, and, you know, apparently there's a taboo. He's not a politician, but he's endorsed candidates throughout the primary. And let me just give you a few numbers. In the Senate, he's 6-0. And in the House, he's won 12, lost 3. Statewide office, 8 wins, 6 losses. And I'll tell you right now, I want, from your perspective, effective and influential, and what will it play in November?
The numbers prove that he's been effective and influential, and even the candidates who he hasn't endorsed are running on an America First agenda and against the Democrats. And I find it so interesting that people in America are looking around and saying, and when they're polled, they say, well, if I were to vote today, I would be voting for President Donald Trump. So he is popular, he's having an influence, and of course he's looking to November as a way to really be the leader of the party.
I agree with you 100%. And Aisha, you know, Trump was at the Faith Freedom Coalition, and he did a little teasing about the 2024 election. We have that. Here's a little tease by the president.
One of the most urgent tasks facing the next Republican president, I wonder who that will be. Would anybody like me to run for president?
Aisha,
that's not a tease. That's like a wink and a nod and a here I come.
Well, that's my thing. You work in Washington. You're inside the Beltway. Will you please tell the American public today, is it President Trump running, and when will he announce?
Guys,
you know.
I have the scoop.
Okay.
I don't. But I made you look. Look, I think everyone in Washington that belongs to his party, and I would say the other party too, absolutely thinks he's the kingmaker. You look at Dr. Oz. You look at your homeboy, J.D. Vance. You guys know each other?
He's a homeboy.
You told me to watch that movie.
I need that movie. The movie and the book are fantastic.
Really good. And Adam Laxalt in Nevada. And people saw that coming a mile away because Trump endorsed them. And people who don't get endorsed by him or lose an endorsement, like Mo Brooks down in Alabama, you know, desire that from him. So absolutely, he's the kingmaker. Does he run? I don't know, Leo. I feel like you would know if anybody on this table would know.
Let me ask you a different question, Aisha. Let me ask you a question, Aisha. Let me ask you a different question. Is he going to run?
This is what I did too.
Leo, you're focused on the wrong question.
Okay, well,
let me explain to you why.
Tell me what the right question.
Listen, this is very important. America, listen. The only thing in this country more popular right now than President Donald Trump is Donald Trump's agenda. All right, and what vessel brings that agenda forward is not as important as the fact of what that agenda is. Let me tell you what it is. It's results-driven. It's not platform-driven. It's not establishment-driven. It's not some canon, some dogma of politics. You got to be on this team-driven. It is results-driven. The Donald Trump agenda is about looking at where we are right now and saying there's a path to get away from this to a better place. And if that's Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump in the White House, or if it's real quick, Brian Kemp in the governor's mansion in Georgia, that's still the Trump agenda. The reason why you're getting a mixed bag of results on Trump-endorsed candidates is look at the candidates that are losing that Trump backed. He didn't back them because of what they stand for or who they are or their popularity. He backed them because of who they were running against.
I agree.
And his one gripe against that person. The majority of those people Trump is supporting people against have supported the Trump agenda and have moved it like Brian Kemp within their own state.
Well, but I think there's an issue here. There's a distinction between Trump Republicans and Republicans in general. But I want to get to one issue back to Katie on the issues that will drive the November election. And I think in the Fox News poll, they said there were certain issues such as inflation. The Republicans win by 19%, Katie. Border security, plus 19. Crime, plus 13. Foreign policy, plus 8. And preserving democracy, I think it's plus 1. Do the Republicans have the right issues?
Republicans are winning on every single issue, as because of the age-old question of what Ronald Reagan asked, right? Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And the answer right now, with 91% of the country concerned about inflation, 90% of the country affected by gas and grocery prices, of course you're not better off than you were 4 years ago. And so they look back 4 years ago and say, my life was actually great. There were more people that were brought into the middle class. Gas was $2 a gallon. I mean, their life was better on every single level. And the one thing that on that poll that really caught my attention, because the other ones are obvious in terms of the economy, but the preserving democracy portion, the fact that Republicans are winning, and it's only by 1 point, but they're winning by 1 point. Democrats have spent so much political capital, not just during the January 6th hearings, but also during President Trump's entire time in the White House, saying that they were the party of democracy, that they had to be defending democracy, that the Republican Party and Trump are a threat to democracy, and Republicans are winning on that.
We got to wrap this up. Last question. Are we better off being in the studio today?
Yes, we are.
All right, good.
But change that last question to not whether he will run, but when he'll announce.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.